So I'm going to do a quick little video on, I guess, the first update of this radio we're working on. This we're looking at is actually a part that I've seen on schematics that it works as a input safety. There's capacitors actually in it. It's got paper caps. You see I've got a lot of this. This was potted, which is actually this stuff. Gross. It's kind of like it's ashy. But since this thing is 1942, it seemed to break out pretty easily. And where these go in these radios, it's almost like I'm gonna put safety caps in there, but I'm gonna try to put them back inside this case hopefully, so it looks original, and then it just bolts down where the AC comes into the unit. So where it was, I've marked on my leads. I already have a couple new power leads, but those are going to have a fuse also. I haven't gotten that far, I just started this. But where it was, here's the screw that's actually holding it up. Some of that potting actually fell in there already. I get to clean up. There's a little bus bar that was kind of attached to it to just make various connections. I marked the wires and just made a real crude drawing of where everything was connected to it, and then just clipped the leads off with my side nips. This is the Philco 42 1008, and this is the second version, which is the code 122. But actually, obviously I have the schematics. You can find this free online. I can probably dig up the link if you are working on this same type of radio. And I printed on 2 pieces of paper. The easiest way to do that, I just did it in MS Paint and scaled it up to span 2 pages in landscape. So what we are looking at, I think this was number 79. It's nice it has the parts list, but everything's kind of fuzzy. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The part number 79 says, my camera's blurry. It says line, filter, condenser, and I've seen a lot of this where it says condenser. It's actually, well, I guess that's what they were called, now they're capacitors. But you can see there's 2 0.01 microfarad, which is, I think, converts to PF or something now. I already have all the capacitors ordered, and they're specific. There was a guy... These are... What's nice about where I got these, it is... This guy's Just Radios, which, guess what he does? Just radios. Ha! But he has all the weird capacitor values that you normally can't find. There's like, I don't know, I've got a 100, I've got a 0.05, I've got a 10, I've got a 12, all these wacky little things, and up here I have an 8 and a 16. Those aren't standard sizes, and this guy actually carries them for this purpose, because these crazy radios with these chunky wax crusty things have very weird values. It's, I guess, before there was a standard. So this one, there's 2 monsters in here. It's got the rubber lines, which are notorious for doing this. Rubber doesn't last, so you flex this a little bit, all the rubber comes off. Now you have bare lines to set fire to your house. Fun, huh? So, thankfully, I think there's only 2 capacitors. There's this one down here, and another one I've already removed, and these dorky little caps just to show me where it was. But it looks like this was serviced at one point, and there's just 2 replacement caps. The rest are original Philcos, which is kind of nice. Part 475 DC volt. Yeah, see? This is a 12 microfarad, or 12 UF. They don't make those, as far as I thought, and that Just Radios guy has those, and this big thing down here is actually a multi-capacitor. It's got 2 different capacitors You see green and a red lead out the back, and then there's a black lead, I guess, for both of the grounds, but it's all labeled. So see, black come in, negative. Green is a 8 UF, a red is a 16 UF. They call them microfarads. There's part numbers and all that stuff. So I was able to actually get those same. And I'm not going to restuff these. I may save the tubes for the hell of it, but I'm not going to take the time. I've seen people go and stick them in here, wrap them with electrical tape just so they fit and don't flop around, and actually boil some beeswax to refill these. Ain't nobody got time for that. Anyways, yeah, so what we were looking at was the line filter condenser number 79 on my parts list. Thankfully, this transfers over. If I can figure out where it was. It's somewhere in here. I should have pre-looked at this before I hit record. It was 74, 73. I want to say it's up in here. But I guess it doesn't matter too much. I do know what it is, and it is on my parts list. And it comes back to this. It's a Philco 3903. And basically there's, well, obviously these are connected, but there's 3 terminals, just bars with tabs on either sides. This one goes to the chassis ground. And then I already picked out a lot of the potting. You can actually start to see the paper capacitors in there already, which is why I needed this open. Well, I technically did. I could just toss this and put some caps in there. But that's where I am right this second. And surprisingly, all I'm doing is I've got just a regular box cutter, basically, flip knife, but just regular blade, nothing special. And I started taking this and just take the knife. I was going around the edges here and cut away from myself before I cut myself. I was just doing this. Just going across the edges, not trying to cut down the center. And it's just coming out in chunks. Just, there goes a chunk there. Maybe I need safety glasses for this. I'll pop this stuff off and it comes out so easily. I figured like modern epoxy potting would be similar to this, but I guess it's not. And this is just because it's the age, or almost guaranteed it's the properties of the stuff. If I could keep picking at this, actually I can almost clip the leads now. There are 2. Oops. There's like a little piece of paper in there to just separate the 2. Is that paper? Oh, it's like cardboard. You can kind of see in there what's going on. And crusty. It really doesn't take much effort at all. I'm just kind of not digging too hard, and even though it may look like it. There's the base. Made it all the way through. How about that? Get this crap out of here. It's got something around him. Huh. Well, I'll continue in a minute. Let's see if I can get him out. Okay. Step out for a second there. That's what it is. Stop it. I actually just kept picking at it for a second. And check this out. I'm gonna pull these things right out. That's so gross. So there's what's inside. You guys are wanting to put one of these back together. We've got 3 pins. There's one in the front, middle, and back. This one has a little bit of solder kind of hanging through it. All that solder is going to be removed. I'm going to clean this whole thing up and see if I can reuse it. So that's it. The potting came out very easy. I literally started. This was potted to the top. I should have started the video with it filled. But I was just taking it and scoring it across the edges. And when I would score just a little bit, I had chunks coming out. Like, alright, we're moving pretty good. So I just kept going. And then I did see the top of one of the capacitors, so I knew it was golden. Just kept working around the edges here real lightly. I didn't want to break this because this is the, it's actually a Bakelite plastic. Well, however you want to pronounce it, but I pronounce it Bakelite, so deal with it. So there it is. I've got to clean off all these contacts. I'm going to use my solder wick, remove all this crap, and we should be golden. Just hopefully my safety caps get in there. I'm not going to use the regular. I do have both types when I ordered it, but I would rather have safety caps. If all hell breaks loose, they won't set everything on fire. So here's one of the 2. Oh jeez, it's got a hole in the end of it. Good thing I didn't do this stupid and fire up the radio as soon as I got it. So we'll take this little paper protector off. I guess this was put here for when they were potting it. Move that back a little. Oh geez, I'm getting the whole thing. I'm just trying to get a rating off of it, not the whole wrapper. I'll try on the other side real lightly. Oh. Let go. Let go. Let go. Alright. There's some of that. Yeah, it's literally paper. They stuck it on top of the capacitor. Doesn't say anything as far as I can tell. Oh, here's a bonus. Let's see what's in a 1942 wax paper capacitor. Whee! Paper. So funny how they do theirs. I think something with so much voltage through it, and oh, let's just wrap something around paper. That makes sense. Actually, it's clear. Maybe like a mica. It's just like tinfoil. Oh, there we go. Broken now. Check that out. You've never seen inside of a capacitor. This is obviously the workings of it. You have paper insulating it so it doesn't short out, and it's just, this is what's transferring all the energy. That was fun. If this one will work. The other one didn't look like it had a label, unless it just came off with all that crap. Oh, this one's doing the same thing. Nope, nope. Put it off. There's one of the little tiny leads. The other one and this one I kind of broke off. Too bad. Oh. I guess that paper actually held it together. Don't need that. Is there anything on the paper? Maybe the potting dissolved the ink that was on it. I just don't say anything. Huh. Thank goodness I have a schematic, so I know exactly what they were. So, with that, this little divider plastic thing, paper, cardboard. And this is actually a pile of crap that came out of it, so that's what's inside. And I guess if you need to take one of these apart, and I guess a lot of these radios had some sort of device like this, but it's just to filter the AC voltage going into it to try to minimize some of the noise. which you can literally just put capacitors in there where this was, but let's see if I can fit the new ones in there. Hopefully it'll work. Stick it back together, even though no one but me is ever going to open this up. It's just, I know it's there, so it makes me feel good. So that's it for this video. I'm going to see if I can, as I'm working on it, update it a little bit as I go. I can't promise much, but that's where we are. I'm going to start pulling these capacitors out in a minute.